Sharjah International Book Fair. We're delighted to have you all over here. I'm Nisa Turrab and I'll be the host of the evening. This session is brought to you by Pick a Book UAE, an engaging initiative that fuels the love for reading as participants embark on a quest to select a book, immerse themselves in its contents, and share a captivating summary. Beyond the joy of reading, Pick a Book refines the public speaking, communication, presentation skills, and creative tapestry of talents. Today, we bring in discussion with you Mujeeb Jaihoon, an eminent author. He is an Indian-born writer and community activist based in UAE. His books have earned a reputation as one of the most influential writers of our generation. His popular titles include Slogans of Change, which is one of the author-winning work, The Cool Breaks of Hind, historical fiction with mystical elements, the first ever Twitter-based tribune. He is regular participant in literary events such as Sharjah International Book Fair and featured in publications worldwide. Jaihoon is also the director of multiple education institutions and advisor to community development projects. He advocates passionately for education, women's empowerment, and interfaith harmony through his public speaking engagements. Jaihoon is also a avid traveler, exploring the travels of culture and heritage around the world. Hi sir, how are you? How are you doing today and how do you feel to be among us?
Thank you, Nisa, for such a generous introduction. I'm happy that we are sitting here on the one of the most important days in the Sharjah Book Fair is a Friday evening usually. And before we get into our topic, I want to congratulate this great nation, the Flag Day that we are celebrating today, and we wish all success and prosperity for this beautiful nation that we are living in today. Talking about this book, this of course is the absorption and sometimes even the silent, the suffering that we all undergo because we see oppression against our own communities and communities around the globe. So oppression is perhaps one of the oldest crimes that's prevalent on this planet. There's oppression everywhere, right from our home, from domestic violence, to communities, to school bullying, and sometimes bullying between nations. So there are oppression of different kinds, and I simply, expressed the collective pain that we are all part of.
I have read your book and it has been beautifully crafted. I wanted to know I was eager to understand what was your motivation behind this provoking, thoughtful book.
Well, as I said, oppression is something which no thinker, no artist can tolerate. No art can tolerate oppression. So, as we see in the contemporary world, there are different scales of oppression at the ethnic level, at the religious level, at a historic level. So, this is my resistance. As you can see, this is subtitled as a handbook of creative resistance. So, we don't need to obviously pick up on some armed resistance. Sometimes resistance is more powerful when we express it creatively or vocally. And humanity has always celebrated justice and the people who fought for it. So this is my humble tribute to all those hands, all those minds who have fought for justice.
One of the poems in this book is about the modern women's industry, the Muslim women industry, and its crisis in the modern society. Can you elaborate on this?
For some reason or the other, we have seen that women have been collectively suppressed or oppressed right from time immemorial. So when it comes to the modern Muslim women, especially, it's a very unique identity because she has to navigate through the curves and the waves of modernity, but at the same time keeping her spiritual identity. So there are lots of manipulation,
Yeah.
I would say, in the name of Muslim women, both from the side of the conservatives and the liberals. So the liberals always, increase their ratings and viewership when they talk about the Muslim women, for the Muslim women. And the conservative people also sustain their reach and the mileage in the name of the Muslim women. There are sports companies who advertise exclusively for Muslim women, who try to manipulate her identity or her appearance, right? So Muslim women has always been subject to a lot of manipulation, both from the liberal and the hardliners.
The code, carnivore on the dining table and carnivore on the street. What name will the history call you? It's quite thought-provoking. Do you believe that the current right-wing regime in India will have a significant impact on the country's future history?
Unfortunately, every country passes through different phases. We have seen that in history that many countries who were founded on certain principles, on certain ethos, they have gone total U-turn on their policies, on their legacy and their heritage. In my country, India, there's been a temporary phase where its ethos and its values and what it's known for, there have been efforts to sideline that legacy, right? So I feel that, okay, this is a very difficult phase. It's very oppressive, it is suppressive, but I'm sure this will pass. And once again, the sun of secularism and pluralism, this will rise soon back to my country.
Moving forward, do you draw a parallel line between the scientists and engineers in Germany who supported the Hitler and Indian politics? Could you elaborate on this comparison? How is it relevant to the current political situation in India?
Well, today's hardline situation or the hardline tendency is intensively backed by PR. The media, consciously or unconsciously, is contributing and supporting this hardline stand. When we see the era of Hitler, we can see the celebrities were competing to take a selfie with Hitler, and which is very much prevalent in today's India's political landscape. So I feel what the support that Hitler received from the engineers and scientists to propagate and to promote the Nazi machinery, a similar kind of situation is growing in my country as well. But let's pray that it doesn't continue for long.
We all are hoping for
Right.
that. In the time of global crisis with thousands of lives at stake, how do you think the literature and art can contribute to achieving global peace and making a positive impact on the world?
Literature is not just a few words and chapters and stories in a book. Every civilization is based on a book. So we have the Bible, which is the basis for the Western culture. We have Roman civilization based on their books. So every civilization is ultimately based, founded on a book, and book means literature. So sometimes our literary endeavors, literary interventions can prove more powerful to bring about a change in the society than through an armed conflict or violence. So I feel arts, literature, music, these are all very important to change the mindset of people, which will ultimately change the political regime of the country.
You mentioned the code, faith is meant to terrorize the faith within, not fellow humans. However, what happens when people fail to recognize the inner conflicts within themselves? Do you think they are losing the purpose and potentially misleading today's world?
We all know that the ultimate purpose of our religion, of our faith, is to contain, to moderate, or rather to refrain the evil that is within us. Religious mission, the mission of our faith, any faith, is not to correct the other. It's rather to improve ourselves, to purify ourselves. So the people who take violence in the name of their faith are doing a disservice to their own faith. They are not helping their faith grow, and rather they bring humiliation for their own faith. So the faith's ultimate motive is to correct oneself, is to tame the beast that's inside you, and not to tame the people outside. So everyone should mind their own spiritual business.
My last question for you is, what is the message you wish to convey through the poem about Gandhi's Ramarajya?
Yeah, the figure of the India's founding father, Mahatma Gandhi, it's very, you can say, really appealing to the heart. The entire globe respects his personality, and he's a man of undying optimism. He tried to see the equality of every human being, to fight the caste system, not only just the colonial British regime, but he tried to correct the mistakes within our own country, within India. So for me, he represents the Ramarajya's, the mission which he has, is all about equality, is all about justice. And if you would please allow me, I just want to quote a few lines.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll just read out this poem. It's called "To the Godless Goons of Mob India." Lynch my body, pinch my soul, punch my pride, drench my blood. Staunch be your henchmen, bunch of bigoted hooligans. Flinch us they from progress, rend us from justice. Exhaust every trick in your bag, pull every arrow of your quiver. Bribe your cheerleaders forever, swing your dagger far and deeper. Alas, destiny's wheel will one day turn, in your own inferno shall you burn. Hate will then find no buyers, fate shall every fate soothsayers. Rama's Rajya will then reassign, love and equality will re-reign, unity and diversity will realign, tolerance will again do India fail. So there are situations which we are going through in darker and more difficult times, but when we see the message of Mahatma Gandhi, he stood for the equality, justice. So there may be these spin doctors, the PR engineers who make great name and fame for the fascist forces, but ultimately we will come back to that old, to that the traditions of India where justice and equality will prevail, and Gandhiji's concept of Ramarajya will re-come again.
We all hope for that. Lastly, your books are praised for outstanding cover and artwork. Could you share the reason behind constantly maintaining remarkable designs for your books and how these designs complement the content within them?
Yeah, when I speak about my cover design, apparently I have one of my other books covers designer, Mr. Shiaz Ahmad here. He is a very good calligrapher, a very state-of-the-art artist. Your question, why do I give much importance to the cards? Because there is a proverb which says, do not judge a book by its cover. Well, we know what it means, that maybe it's not as good as it seems. But sometimes in this era of constant advertisement and promotion and everything, for someone to pick up the book, the cover has to be very good. So for me, I'm a fan of aesthetic design. I'm a big fan of Steve Jobs products, Apple products, because not because of its technological superiority, but at the same time, the aesthetic design that goes into the Apple products. I'm just giving an example. So I feel whatever we do, whatever we write, has to be done with excellence, and the cover is an important part of the book, because when you walk through a bookshop, when you browse through Amazon, it is a cover which will persuade you 60 to 80% to click or to find out, to open the book, what is this book about. So let us all try to advertise goodness and the fragrance, because we are living in very bad, very dark times. So let us give light a chance. Let us give goodness a chance to reach to the people, to make them feel good, because we are going through a very, very depressive times. Let's spread happiness. Let's spread good words which give hope to the people.
I would like to extend my sincere gratitude for you to be here with us and have an amazing session. Moving towards the audience, if there's anyone who would like to ask any questions to our author, or there's anything anyone wants to talk related to the book, or is there anything we would like to discuss with you?
Hi, my name is Sihas. In your discussion, also the discussion, the mantra has always, been geographically to a particular place. Is this mantra universal, or is it just for India?
Well, you asked a very pertinent question. I would say this book is not only about the Indian context. There are references to conflicts and struggles taking elsewhere in the world. And as she asked, there's poems about women's justice, gender justice, the manipulation of the Muslim women's identity. There are poems also about the Palestinian conflict, for example. So the mantra of the oppressed is not just the mantra of the Indian, minorities or Indian oppressed. It's the mantra of every human being, right from a small child who is facing domestic abuse, for any student who is bullied in school, for the women who are harassed in the workplace, for example, and for every human being who are going through oppression.
Do you have any more questions?
First of all, I congratulate Mr. Jaihoon for bringing such a good book to the world. And I also had an opportunity to be with him when he's making of the sorting of the stage, where he got this inaugural Sharjah Award. I always noticed that Jaihoon has some kind of mystic kind of bringing his thoughts into the lines. So here he made himself as an instrument to bring the people attention of the world is going on in such an oppression only globally. He has mentioned that this for India, no, it is for the globe. In any part of the world, we can see the oppression in one kind or the other. So thank you, Jaihoon. Keep it up.
Thank you, Mr. Anwar Naha. He is the General Secretary of the UAE Kerala Muslim Cultural Center. But beyond that, he is like a father figure. He is like a mentor. He is the one who made me write my most successful book, Slogans of the Sage. So please give a clap to my good friend. So I'm very happy and thankful for all your gracious presence. This event, book launch every November in Sharjah Book Fair. This is like my third Eid in my life. So I'm very happy that all of you came here, despite your busy schedule and your life. We are all passing through a very busy life where we have no time for any other person. But of course, this kind of gathering gives me the courage and the confidence that there are people who still love the book and people who can bear hours of traffic to come for a book talk. Thank you.
Hi. What are the issues are you planning to work on? Other social issues similar to this one.
But my books are not pre-planned as such, because poetry, basically I write poems. Poems are not conscious expressions, they're very impulsive. You can have a poem coming to your mind when you're stuck in the traffic. It's not planned, right? So the human heart is very impulsive organ, does not calculate, it does not deliberate, and sometimes it doesn't even contemplate. It just flows with what comes to it. So I'm always working on something, poems or books. What I can mention here, with your kind permission, and I want your prayers for that. Maybe next year we can meet like this. A new book which I'm working on. It's a collection of some mystical poems. Like Mr. Naha mentioned, I write mostly mystic poems. So this is called The Maverick Dervish. The Maverick Dervish, and this is published from Malaysia. So it's in the final stage of production. So hopefully we can have it in the next year. Thank you.
Oppressed means in Arabic mazlum. Madlum. Madlum means oppressed. Those who are oppressed. There's one word. There is no way curtain between mazlum and God. Oppressed and God. Is there such mantra in your book? For oppressed.
Yes, I think Mr. Shiaz Ahmad is a very prominent calligrapher from India. He has worked with me on other books, and this question that he asked, in fact, this is the spiritual meaning of the title of this book. Mantra of the oppressed is actually the prayer of the oppressed. It's an oppressed person is very weak. He is totally, forceless. He cannot do anything in the life. But his prayer is the most powerful, most fastest reaching, prayer to God. God will immediately listen, reply, respond to the prayer of the oppressed. So as Mr. Shiaz rightfully mentioned, I have deliberately kept the name of this book with this basic message, that we all are weak and oppressed, but our prayer has a force, it's like a nuclear reactor. There's a nuclear power of the prayer of the oppressed. So let us all pray for peace.
I'm enlightened to be part of today's session, and to read this book and be part of this whole session and have a conversation with you. It makes me feel really good, because us being the youth of the generation and us taking forward our country, this session is something that keeps us motivated. Lastly, Pick a Book is proud to be part of this initiative, and thank you, Pick a Book, for giving me this opportunity. This session was amazing. I hope you had a good time, and this conversation was something that I'm always going to look forward to in future. And yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, and my friends, I also want to mention my part of thanks to Pick a Book UAE. They are an active force in promoting literacy in leadership among children and grown-ups, and they are definitely a crowd that you have to associate and read with. They are a big force in promoting reading in the community. Thank you, Pick a Book. Thank you.